So all these uh, little dots next to those marks are lights that I see all the time that are not really there. In this case, they happen to be there during the daytime. And obviously that's a flash that is out of nowhere. So if you pay close attention to those dots, there should be a light that sparks near them. There's a few more, but it's too many to pinpoint. But if you can see those, that you don't really need to see anything else. Um, if you can check it out and let me know what your opinion about this is, that'd be cool. But those are dots that are those are lights that are moving along, that are very hard to notice. But this is in the bathroom, which is extremely odd, right? And if you even notice right here, there's like a lot of invisible movement, I guess you could say, which is where the lights going back and forth. It's just a little bit unusual that I feel like I have to check it out. And really, the movement is everywhere. This is pretty much the same thing I just showed you, but in a different color, I guess you could say, and it's a little bit at a faster speed. The one's a slower speed, so you can actually tell how it actually looks like. And it's really hard to notice when you're not paying too much attention or close attention to anything like this, which you probably shouldn't. Shouldn't be any reason why, but once I notice these things, I feel like I had a reason to start paying attention. And if you can tell, I've at least noticed the same shape almost forming every time, which is like the shape of a head. And the shape that I see, obviously that's not it, it's just like an outline to give an idea. But the shape that I see is usually consistent with the pictures of the person that I've seen, which, you know, makes you just wonder a little bit of what's actually happening and why those lights in the ceiling were just simply shouldn't be. Again, same thing here. Uh, anyways, uh, just a moment. Right here is another part of the bathroom. If you noticed, it's basically the same thing, the same idea. You see these little lights flash inside the walls and sometimes outside these little holes. And it's just, if you pay attention, you'll also notice a little uh, character I just kind of brought up right there too. But this is basically the same thing. It's uh, it's really easy to miss, so you have to be prepared. But if you look at all that movement that is just there that you can see through, is basically the light activity. And this is basically the same thing in a slower motion, just in case you weren't able to capture, because I had it at full speed, and it's really hard to miss. But once I noticed these and I kept on noticing them, I had to basically try to find out what's happening on my own, since it was pretty hard for someone to believe me. But if you get to see this, then you should also maybe question the fact that what I'm saying, it's not impossible, highly unlikely for sure, but it's just a reason to actually consider it to be true, or consider something else at least, but not just dismiss it. Look at this whole area, you'll see the same movement. It's just like just slightly different shades of the same color dancing around. It's basically the light activity that's actually happening in that general area while being recorded. Here basically is the same in a different part of the bathroom, just a different what do you call it? Different color layer just to make it stand out a little bit more. Other than that, is the exact same shit. But this is all in the bathroom and simply because what you sound like is like a crazy paranoid motherfucker. But you know, with this is obviously, I guess, with the reason, so it wouldn't be considered paranoia since paranoia basically would have no reason to think of these things. But with a reason, I guess it's not. Don't really know. But regardless, it's something to be a little bit cautious about, curious about, and make sure that everything's normal how it should be. Because there's a lot of fucking weirdos out there, and I'm pretty sure I am going through that at this moment, along with my family, which is who lives there actually. So they go through it more. Just the main reason I'm doing this. So please give it a shot, Patty. Same thing. The reason I do this, and I know it's true, is because, and I know it sounds like I'm crazy and shit like that, because I'm reacting to a crazy situation, or at least give it a real validated opinion before you go ahead and say, "Oh, I'm crazy." But I hear criticism about doing these things as in the most perfect timing, and you wouldn't believe me. As I'm doing these things, which means that those lights are there, and those criticisms are correct. If I'm not really hallucinating these things, which I doubt I am, it would make kind of a sense to tie them to those lights. You know why those comments came at its perfect time when no one is there, but those lights are still actively moving back and forth, which makes me wonder. Maybe I'm not hallucinating, which I had to consider before even bringing this up to anybody. It's pretty much the same thing. Didn't put all the dots where there's always movement, but if you look at the circle one, there's a lot of movement there, more than anywhere. It's kind of blinking. Stands out a little bit more. It's bigger, so just something that again, I'm quite curious about, since it's not really quite normal to see any red dots in your ceiling or any in your walls. Which I think it should be a concern for anybody who fucking, notice these kind of things around their environment. So, I always notice these things, like that face. I'll take it off right now so you can see what I'm talking about. And whenever I notice that face, it seems like that's where the lights are a lot of the times, which makes me think that it's probably projecting from the person that's using that to point that laser through the holes or whatever on the walls. Just theory. It kind of makes sense. It's pretty consistent. So this is where I was I just highlighted. If you really look at there, it kind of forms the way I almost highlighted it, but it's not exactly the same. Obviously, it's way better than what I did, but I see it without any problems all the time. And the biggest thing to look at in this one, I would say, is, so that's the wrong circle. I wouldn't pay attention to that one, but if you look at here, right in that area where it is now, you'll see a flashing light that stands out a lot. Once you get to see it, you'll realize that it's just fucking weird. I don't think it was around, so just a moment. So right here, you pay close attention. There's a slight movement of light. You don't see it too well, but they are there. Um, you can see moving back and forth, and I still see the same face that projects through. I'm assuming is the person using the what appears to be like a laser. Um, and it's basically the same picture, just a different color filter. And if you see this, then I think you would probably do the same thing that I'm doing, because it is a quite unusual thing, and that usually isn't a good thing for your privacy. So as crazy as it looks, what I've presented so far, I think validates the reason I think like this. Let me know what you think, and just hold on for the next stuff. This is the same thing in a faster movement, faster speed, and basically different color filter. And if you see all that movement right there, it's basically the light activity happening right there, which is a lot. And that's in the bathroom. This is all within a 2-3 minute shot from when I started to this point. So this is right above the toilet. Oh, this is actually in the shower area, the tub area. Same face, if you notice right here. And it's just a lot of consistency with that doesn't allow me to just ignore this thing or leave it alone. I think that it's like a whatever. I actually find it extremely unusual. And same thing here, I didn't highlight anything, but if you pay attention, actually let me just do that for you. So here I only surrounded a few of the active parts, but there's really a lot going on. If you just look at the whole picture, there's a lot of light activity happening. But just to point a few, they're right there. And I notice these all the time, and just the light activity you notice, it's just already abnormal. So I think the reason I'm looking for this is I think is validated with myself. I think most people would find it a reasonable reason, but I don't think that's always the case, unfortunately. So I see these things all the time. Nobody has seen them before, or at least noticed them. Um, from the environment that I live, it kind of makes you look for these things from experience that I have. And everybody thinks I'm crazy because, it's just not a normal thing to look for, but it's just how it is when your environment, it's uncertain when it comes to privacy. And just because it's not a normal thing to look for doesn't mean it doesn't mean you're wrong about it or anything like that. And that's what I'm trying to get people to understand. But in order to do that, I had to go out of my way and do all this stuff. And hopefully, you give it a real effort and see what I'm trying to show you, and give me a real opinion or a second thought about, my judgment upon this. Yeah, there's a dot that I see. That's one that's bright right there. Uh, Again, a lot of light activity. Just there's another one right there. Right there. And there's a lot more. You're just kind of hard to see them all because they move really fast, even at a slow speed from the original speed. But yeah, I mean that's why it took me a while to want to show anybody anything, because it's just hard to get someone to be open about stuff like this, really. Now here, there's a lot of light activity. There's one right there, one right there. It's all over the place, really. Uh, and this is in, I think this was in, yeah, this is still in the bathroom. And, you know, they're in just weird spots. I've seen one in the bathtub. I don't know how that works, but it's just something to fucking, just fucking check out, I would say, with concern. Now, something I literally just noticed right now, and just give me a moment. So, this little area right here, it's, I kind of been doing this for a little while, so I kind of noticed things that they're kind of hard to notice. But if you notice on that little area where I just highlighted, and I'm going to zoom in, is going to take that thing out. But it's here again. Now let me just put that one again, and then, so it's kind of right here. Well, you see that same, I still see that same face. Fat dude, glasses, no hair. And it's always the same facial expression or similar to it. But if you notice, there's a little shade right there. It's just a little slightly different than it's just a shade difference, not really a color difference. And you'll see a little movement, like it's almost like it's holding it's either a finger pointing at something, or it's like a gun-like instrument that they're holding. Maybe for a laser, I wouldn't tell you. But if you just look at it, pay attention to that little area. When I play it, you'll probably see what I'm talking about, or you can tell me that I'm crazy if you don't see it or whatever. Just check it out though. There's also slight movement in that face I just kind of pointed out. And again, it's really hard to notice, but it's just slightly a shade off from the background. So if you don't see it, I can definitely understand why, or maybe I'm just want to see these things. But I'm pretty positive that I know what I'm looking at, since I've been working with this kind of crap for a little bit of time. And it's just want to get down to the point of it. Get one right there. Anyway, same thing here. Nothing too different from that I showed you, but it's still basically that's the idea. I can't get anybody to believe that these lights are there, and I can't really get anybody to check these out that could take it a little bit serious without first making a diagnosis of it, and the reason I got stuck on this is because my daughter, as you already know, Patty, lives there, showers there, uses the bathroom there, and it makes me uncomfortable knowing that she goes to the bathroom, and I'm just aware of these lights that no one has checked out or considered, and I can't just sit there and be okay with it. So I don't know, I wouldn't be comfortable with myself just being okay with that. And that's why I looked all crazy. But to me, it's worth it, and I know that maybe I am wrong. I doubt it though, because the camera doesn't trip. But I think I at least have a good reason to give it a shot, whether everybody cares about it or not. I have a pretty good reason to care about it, I think. Now, unfortunately, when I recorded this, I was about to take a shower. And I say unfortunately because I noticed same kind of activity, same face, and right above the bathtub. That was going on when I was taking a shower. And not that I have a problem with, your sexual preference or anything, but it would have been cool if I released with some girls. But I can tell they're not just by the other stuff that I have. And you know, the face I can see here, or shades, I guess you can say, whatever you want to call it. But it's just really fucking weird, especially if I'm the only one who notices things and I can't show anybody because they're not open to it. Now I look like a fucking conceited asshole who, claims people he is watching the shower, but this is just kind of weird. And I can't even take a shit in there in peace. Um, it's just fucking weird. And the same shade of phase that I see in that light activity, it's matches the picture of that I've screenshotted off of one of the videos that I have also recorded, and this is a real individual, which is just kind of weird for me. And now that I have you know, kind of at least have an idea what's going on, it really makes me more concerned of my kid using the bathroom. And I can't really do anything about it because no one believes me. And I can't tell her not to use the bathroom if I'm not there living with her. And even if I was there living with her, I just can't tell her not to use the bathroom. So therefore, I feel like I have to go out of my way and look and be crazy in front of everybody to do what I think is right for my daughter, and or at least give it a shot because I think it's worth it. And I've gotten a lot of fucking shit for it from everybody. No support at all. So if anything, I wanted you already know, Betty. I was trying to, you know what's going on. But I feel like that would be unfair to me if nobody actually takes a real fucking effort to see what I'm trying to show them, just to submit to being institutionalized for something that I have visual proof of, and nobody gave it a fucking shot. So without that shot, I don't feel like it's fair for me to even consider that as I was. So again, same exact bullshit, but same all this stuff. And this is while I'm taking a shower. I pretty much knew it was happening, but now that I have it on video and actually get to review it and confirm 100% that that's most likely what's going on, I know that's what's going on. Not most likely. It's just fucking weird. And now knowing that this is happening, my family lives there, my niece, my daughter, who are underage, and I had mentioned to these individuals because I know they can hear me that they are underage kids living there, and to please stop. And I wouldn't stop, trying to figure out what's going on. And instead of that, I was just basically mocked, and I'm still being mocked and harassed that night after I left there. So I'm pretty sure that this is still going on currently while everybody utilizes the bathroom. And it's not just the bathroom, it's all over the apartment. And that really sucks because I attempted to show this to the individuals in charge of that area, and they declined to see it. And I think I have enough proof to actually send this to the authorities because that's the only thing I feel I can do to protect my daughter. And and anybody else who's probably the surrounding neighbors. Now, same thing here, same bullshit, but just pointing out things that are kind of obvious, to me at least, when I take a look. And again, all of that light activity, if you look at that, the shade of difference, it forms the same character I'm always talking about. Uh, and it's not really a outline, it's more like a pixel shade difference that moves around as it's moving. And is all that's that light activity really that projects it. It's pretty hard to miss, so you have to be very attentive to detail, and if you want to catch what I know I'm catching. It's the same person having videos and screenshots off. And as soon as I do something like this, I hear immediate criticism from places I don't know where they're coming from, and I don't know if these are hallucinations or not because I can't really provide those, proof of that. But this makes me believe that they're not, and if they are, regardless, this is something to be concerned about. But I like to trip, and I've tripped before, and I don't think I'm tripping. The camera says I'm tripping either. Same bullshit here. Same fucking shower, same everything. Uh, is just want to, point out activity that I noticed, and I'm sure there's more that I haven't. Uh, to get at least a validated fucking professional diagnosis from somebody who has actually fucking checked it out and not just heard what I had to say. Um, Unfortunately, to the people that I felt I needed to check out, they didn't really care for looking at this, which makes it harder for me to even move forward with anything. But I'm gonna still do it because I know that I'm not. Well, I may be crazy, but I'm not fucking stupid. I guess you could say. And maybe I'm not right about what I think it's happening, but I'm pretty sure that maybe it's highly unlikely. Now, same bullshit here. You see the fucking light out here. Same thing of the shades of the slightly change of shades in the slightly pixel activity that you notice is basically the light activity. Earlier, when I was doing this, I noticed that same character. So earlier, as I was recording this, I noticed a laser on my top of my car, and these lasers have been bugging the shit out of me all night long, like literally all night long. It's nonstop harassment, and that's the thing that nobody believes me either, which fucking sucks. But basically, if you look right here, it looks like the same character that I pointed out in the shower fountain. It pretty much pops up anywhere that laser is, and I'm sure it's projecting this is the light projecting what that individual looks like or what the individual wants to look like if he were to come to be noticed. And the reason I noticed that is because I noticed the shade on my forehead. So it was bouncing off the light of my car and onto the phone back to my forehead. And if you notice, that shade is the same is there, and is the same kind of shade that is it's on the shower. And the reason I'm recording the screenshot right, I mean the camera as I'm showing this, is because I'm pretty sure this is most likely happening at this moment. If I haven't caught it yet, I'm pretty sure if I review the camera, it'll most likely be there. And this kind of just, you know, it confirms that it's, I feel like I'm being gaslighted, or I was, but now I know what's happening. I just can't get to these motherfuckers physically like I would like to because they're so far away with the laser. And I'm pretty sure I can still get them socially and hopefully legally. But if I can get them legally, I will get them socially, and if I can get them legally, I will still get them socially. Because they were warned several times to back the fuck off, because there's kids in that place that use that shower, and instead of being a normal adult about it, they just mock me instead, and I feel it's some kind of a child predatory, or it's just predatory period. But with any children involved, especially of mine or my niece, it's just kind of I have to do something about it no matter what anybody says, and that's just how I feel about it. But that just kind of confirms that it's not really in my mind like it's assumed to be. And before I even brought this up to anybody, it's been happening for weeks, and I didn't say anything. Didn't really bug me too much. I go to sleep, whatever. But then one time I saw it next to my daughter when she was sleeping, and that's what really bugged me. Um, and I've been locked in ever since. I don't longer live there because of my claims, and I reacted pretty impulsively one morning after all this happened because I couldn't sleep and it just fucking with me the whole time, and my reaction could have been better, and and I decided to no longer be there because of attention I was drawn to the place that was allowing me to stay there. Um, it is just a really shitty situation because when you're in your car is just you're just an easier target. You're open target no matter what, and it's it can be more annoying because they'll move the car, they'll just do things that you can't really catch them because you're in your car, you're laying down, all that kind of bullshit takes time, and there's more than one individual for sure, so it's easier for them to manipulate the situation than if it was just a single person. Now I know it sounds fucking crazy, but that is the situation that I am experiencing. I've been experiencing for about 45 days in a row now. I go to several locations, change it up every night, and they're just always in the fucking location I'm at. I try to sleep, and there's always a fucking laser projecting some kind of film with random footage in my eye. A couple times, it really fucked with my head. I know they have access to where my daughter stays, and one time I don't know what kind of program or editing thing they used, but they basically used her face, and they basically pretended to kidnap her, and she was making facial movements. I'm assuming it's a AI application or something that they use, and it really fucked with me that I drove there and just went in there at 5 in the morning to see if my daughter was there. Um, and I can't even tell this to anybody because they just think I'm fucking crazy. But they've gone to that point several times to put that laser in my eye as I'm trying to sleep, projecting my daughter being kidnapped and crying. In the same environment that she lives, everything looks exactly the same. So it's pretty fucking crazy of an accusation, I guess you can say. But technology makes a lot of things accessible nowadays, and that really fucked with me to the point that I just going crazy because I don't know who to turn to, who to tell, uh, without being instantly diagnosed with by people you want to trust, I guess, not giving it a real shot that you might be telling the truth, even though it's highly unlikely. It's still, possible that this is happening as and it's not really impossible. These things do happen to people. But yeah, it's a shitty situation. But I know I will fucking find out who it is, and I will take my shots with precise accuracy and deliverance. I'm pretty fucking sure of that. Now I'm pretty sure these individuals won't stop until I do something about it because they haven't stopped since. And I kind of learned to manipulate the situation in a way, I guess you could say. I don't really do much. I just got to know the fuck out of them. I do the same things they do, but just in my favor. Um, and I'm starting to have fun with it. Like I got the picture of a guy, that dude, and since he's around kids, looking at kids, I asked him not to look in there anymore, and with a laser. So I'm thinking about putting a flyer that makes fun of that. That's basically calling him a predator, but I'm not sure that's a good idea yet because I do want to take this legally, and I don't want to be shown to be part of the harassment or whatever area of this whole thing if it's even taken to that point. But it's pretty funny. At least that's the way I choose to look at it, and that. Uh, but pretty close to posting just flyers of his face and just putting it out there, just put him on blast. I don't feel like that's harassment because I'm not really doing anything out of my way to, just call him that. Just simply put him on blast and hopefully get some results from there. Now, I was in the living room one day during the day, just chilling, and I noticed I kind of look around for these things. I constantly see them now, and I noticed one of those pop up, and I just kind of started recording a little bit in this certain area, and I didn't even review the video probably like till 2 weeks later. But when I reviewed it closely, as you can see right here, that individual I keep marking kind of just resembles this a lot. I know it's blurry and there's a little bit of movement, but it just kind of resembles the same individual. It makes me wonder, and this is all based off reflections that just fucking happen during this fucking weird time, I guess. I've also noticed another individual with a similar physique. It just seems to be thinner. Not sure if this is them too, but it just kind of resembles the last one. I don't want to say that this is actually them. It could just be an item on the wall or whatever, but it just kind of something I got to consider now that it's just weird, and whatever I have to do to find out who it is and what to do about it, I'm going to. But yeah, these two kind of resemble it to me at least. Now, if you kind of focus here on the just again, is it the different shades really? That same individual reflects right here. And all these has reflections that are happening simultaneously. It's not really sure how they work, but and I'm actually looking for these things now, so I'm not something I just noticed right away. I've been studying these videos now with a lot of detail and pretty much just detail attention because I can't even sleep there sometimes. There's like a laser in my eye doing the same bullshit. I know it sounds fucking crazy, but this is what I'm experiencing in this period of time, and if I don't do anything or say anything, it's just gonna keep on happening, and that's just not gonna happen. Now, this video was with your original, and it did an inverse one with a lower capacity, and kind of mixed them up. So you'll see that little difference of them in between. But if you look down here, similar individual, similar, same thing. Shades, bald head. That looks like he's got a phone right there. On this reflection, and I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I mean, it might not be, but it looks like it to me. It's just blurry that you can't really. I don't want to say it is 100%, but it's more than likely it to me. And again, this is a mixture of the original video with an inverse version at a lower capacity. So it's just a little bit more transparent, and it kind of helps you see things that you normally wouldn't see. So at this point, I'm not just looking see what I see. I'm looking for things I can point to. And same video, it seems like there's another reflection here that simulates the individual I've been pointing out throughout the whole time. Of course, it's blurry and but you pay detail attention to it. It simulates. It just looks just like it, just in a different part of the structure that we're looking at in this video. One night, it's probably 4 a.m. It's throughout the whole night really, but I've been noticing the dots come from the carpet, and it's just fucking weird to me. I figure they're reflecting from the roof. I don't know how the fuck that works. Anyways, I'm not saying it's coming from down below, but what I'm saying is that the light that's bouncing off that is projecting what's in its path. And what I did, I started using well, in this case it was an iPad with a broken screen, so I don't want to say this is 1,000% definite, but I'm pretty sure it just resembles the same character I was talking about earlier. Um, and you know, ever since before this started happening, I had an experience in the garage that was similar. And this, you know, I started hearing like things about me, not very indirectly, that nobody would really know unless I tell them or they were there with me. Because I'm very reserved, and every time I go there, it's just I sense the energy. And you know, there's also, from what I can tell, there's a couple of females involved. If you look here, you can. Yeah, I don't want to say that's one, but I do have a clear picture of another one. I'll bring it up later. But and this individual is always there too, not as constant. Um, and so is this one right here. Uh, this is what I did. I flipped the iPad towards the carpet, the screen at least, and a shut off screen, and then I started recording its reflection onto the phone that I was recording, so it wouldn't. So I would basically capture it clear, the clearest reflection I could possibly can in the dark, uh, from that light that's bouncing off the carpet, and basically it sh- shows this. Again, I'm not saying it's from the place below, because you know the light's bouncing off of everywhere. It just seems like it would be from there, but I can't tell you that's 100% exactly where it is because I don't want to make that assumption. Uh, but it's just fucking weird and annoying. Now, you see all that light, that blurry part is basically just light activity that's around that general place. And again, this just seems to resemble the same individual. Now, obviously, it's blurry, so I don't want to say that's exactly what it is. But there's also a little bit of movement in that picture itself, which you know that shouldn't be moving except for the light activity, really. Uh, which makes me jump to a conclusion I don't want to jump to. And again, this is the one from the beginning. It's a little clearer. This is just the original video. Um, and again, if you look at over here towards the left edge, you kind of see the same the shade difference, but it still shapes that same face. And again, I've been watching these things for a little while, so I'm kind of used to this. Uh, Kind of seeing without even trying now. So I have to double check to make sure that it's just not my mind looking at them, wanting to see them, that it's actually there. And I don't know what this is, but that looks like another, right here, looks like another person, but I can't really tell you. It might just be the jar. I don't want to just say everything it's a fucking person. But I assume that in here pretty closely. So we're here, then we're going to assume in here. It it's obviously an object that's there, but the light that's on that object and the shade on it, it again it resembles the same individual. Now I don't want to go to extreme and say that's what it is, but it's just a little bit something to think about. And the consistency of how much this person is appearing on every single video that I've seen is just pretty weird when it's in different locations of the place. So therefore, it makes me believe that he's definitely uh, very active in these activities on a daily basis. Most likely with the surrounding neighbors as well. And there's just a version I did with some effects that allow you to see things you normally can't see on videos. Again, this is a normal version with the inverse version and a little bit of change in transparency. And another effect that kind of blurs out, takes away some part of the front of the picture and releases the part that's in the background in a way. So you start seeing more things, and it's definitely blurry. But when you focus on things, there's a lot of actual movement with you know, human movements, I guess you can say. Um, and yeah, it's pretty fucking annoying when you notice these things all the time and nobody else does, and you just kind of basically taking a shit or pissing or doing whatever you got to do, and you know that this motherfucker is looking at you. You know, um, it's pretty uncomfortable and pretty creepy, really fucking creepy. And normally I would probably feel flattered, but not in this situation. um, yeah. Anyways, let me know what you think, if you're tripping, if you think I'm tripping or not. I consider the fact that I might not be mentally stable when I first started seeing these things, that I even questioned my sanity before I brought it up to anybody. But the consistency makes a lot more sense, and I just can't deviate from that until I get some real validated opinions of what I have presented so far. Still got tons of shit that I'm gonna work on, because pretty tired of this shit, and I will do my best to get this person legally, socially, and well, that's gonna take over the emotional part itself, so I don't have to worry about that. But I'm confident that I will get this person pretty good pretty soon, and I'm gonna be laughing last.